Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Browns closely this season, you know that it's been a roller coaster, right? And just when you think it couldn't get any more intense, it did. Let's talk about that game against the Detroit Lions, a game that at first seemed promising, but quickly turned into a tough lesson for Cleveland. It's hard to sugarcoat what happened, especially when your quarterback, Joe Flacco, who was brought in with hopes of stabilizing the offense, ends up on the bench for the second time this season. That's right, this wasn't just a one-off, it's becoming a pattern, and fans are starting to wonder, is Flacco really the guy to lead us through these rough patches? The game itself kicked off with an impressive first drive from the Browns, and for a moment, it looked like the team had found its rhythm. Flacco looked sharp, connecting well and moving the ball down the field. But then, things spiraled out of control. Flacco, who was supposed to provide stability, ended up having a nightmare of a day, accounting for 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a lost fumble. That's a lot for any quarterback, especially in a game that was already tough enough against a very potent Lions team. The Lions, led by their high-powered defense, weren't going to let this slip away easily, and Cleveland's turnovers gave them extra opportunities to score, which they took full advantage of, leading to a 34-10 loss. And honestly, the turnovers are just the tip of the iceberg. Flacco has now turned the ball over 8 times in just 4 games this season. That's a staggering number, especially considering the importance of ball security at this level. It's no secret that turnovers can crush a team's chances, and Cleveland has paid a hefty price for those mistakes. The question on everyone's mind, especially among Browns fans, is whether the coaching staff is considering a change at quarterback. When asked about it after the game, head coach Kevin Stefanski gave a very cautious, non-committal answer. He said, "When we struggle like we did on offense, I understand the question, but it's not our focus." It's a typical coach-speak response, but the underlying message is clear, they're aware of the problem, but nothing is set in stone just yet. Stefanski also avoided directly answering whether he still believes in Flacco, instead emphasizing that the responsibility for the struggles isn't just on one player. Instead, he pointed out that everyone in the offense needs to step up. And that's true, football is a team game, and when the entire operation is off, it's hard to win. But at the same time, the fans and the media are watching closely to see if that confidence in Flacco remains. After all, time isn't exactly on his side right now, especially considering how critical each game is in the NFL season. Now, let's break down what exactly went wrong during the game. Flacco's first interception, for example, was a real head-scratcher. He lobbed a pass along the sideline, hoping for a receiver to make a play, but no one was there. It was a miscommunication, a play that just didn't develop as planned. And Flacco took the blame for it, saying he thought Cedric Tillman was running a different route. That kind of mistake, especially in a game of this magnitude, is costly. When you give the opposing team good field position, it puts extra pressure on your defense, and that's exactly what happened. The Lions capitalized on that mistake, turning it into points, and the game started to slip away. Then there was the second interception, which was even more damaging. Jerry Jeudy, who was trying to get open on his route, fell and DJ Reed pounced on the opportunity, picking off the pass and returning it inside the Browns' 10-yard line. That's a killer. It's tough enough to lose a game, but giving the opposition such a short field really puts a team on the ropes. And with the game already out of reach with about 5 minutes remaining, the Browns pulled Flacco, bringing in rookie Dillon Gabriel. He had only thrown 1 pass all game, a 3-and-out, which didn't do much to inspire confidence. Gabriel, who also played a little in Week 2 against the Ravens, showed a bit more promise then, completing all 3 of his passes for 20 yards and a touchdown. But in this game, it was more about trying to see what the rookie could do in a tough spot. So, what does all this tell us about the Browns' quarterback situation? Well, it's clear that Flacco's chances of holding onto the starting job are dwindling. The turnovers, the miscommunications, the lack of offensive consistency, it's all piling up. And the coaching staff knows it. Time is running out for Flacco to prove that he can be the answer, especially with the season still very much in flux. The entire offense has lacked sharpness, not just the quarterback. Penalties, missed blocks, bad reads. All of these are symptoms of a unit that needs to tighten up quickly if Cleveland wants to salvage this season. Looking ahead, the Browns are about to face a big challenge next week in London, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. That game is going to be crucial, not just because of the international stage, but because the Browns need to find some consistency, some rhythm, and most importantly, some confidence in their offense. The defense, led by players like DJ Reed, has been doing its part, but football is a game of points, and if the offense keeps turning the ball over and struggling to move the chains, it's going to be an uphill battle every week. And for the fans, it's a frustrating situation, no doubt. You've seen flashes of talent, moments where the team looks like it's on the verge of breaking out, but then the turnovers and miscommunications happen, and everything grinds to a halt. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially knowing the potential that this roster has. The Browns have a strong defense, a talented core, and a coaching staff that's been through a lot. But right now, they need to find that spark on offense, a spark that can come from the quarterback position, whether it's Flacco or someone else stepping up. Throughout the season, Cleveland fans have been hoping for consistency, for the team to find its rhythm, for the offense to click and put together a complete game. The injuries, the penalties, the turnovers, all of these things have hampered that effort. But the good news is, it's still early enough to turn things around. The key will be how quickly they can fix these issues, how well the coaching staff adapts, and whether the players can execute under pressure. Now, let's talk about some of the broader issues. The Browns' season so far has been a mix of bright spots and tough lessons. The defense has been holding its ground, with players like DJ Reed making impactful plays, but the offense has been inconsistent at best. It's a problem that's been building up over the last few weeks, and it's clear that turnovers are a major contributor to their struggles. The coaching staff's decision to stick with Flacco despite these problems shows that they're trying to give him every chance to succeed. But at some point, they'll have to weigh the risks versus the rewards. Fans are also wondering about the future. Is this a season where they should start looking toward the rookie, Dillon Gabriel, as a potential answer at quarterback? Or do they believe Flacco can still turn things around? That's the million-dollar question. Right now, Flacco's experience is valuable, but his recent performances haven't exactly been convincing. The turnovers are a huge concern, and if that trend continues, it's hard to see how he can maintain his spot under center. The Browns have a lot to work on, and it's not just about fixing the turnovers. They need to improve their overall execution, better blocking, smarter decision-making, and more big play opportunities. The team has talent, but talent alone isn't enough in this league. It's about execution, mental toughness, and consistency. And with the game next week in London, it's an excellent opportunity to reset, refocus, and show the NFL that the Browns are still a team to be reckoned with. As we look ahead, the AFC North remains a very competitive division. The Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers are all fighting hard, but a team like Cleveland, with their potential and their talent, can still turn things around. It's about making the right adjustments now and showing resilience in the face of adversity. The coaching staff has to manage the situation carefully, balancing confidence in their players with the necessity of making tough decisions when things aren't working. And let's not forget, this season is still very much in its early stages. There are plenty of games left to play, and the Browns have the tools to bounce back. But it all hinges on their ability to minimize mistakes, maximize their strengths, and develop a cohesive, mistake-free offense. The defense can only do so much if the offense keeps shooting itself in the foot. So, it's a pivotal moment for Cleveland, a chance to prove that they're still contenders, that they're resilient, and that they can overcome these setbacks. In the end, Browns fans, what's most important is to stay supportive, stay patient, and keep believing in this team. They've got the talent, they've got the coaching, and they've got a passionate fan base behind them. But it's clear that they need to tighten up, especially on offense, and find that rhythm that can carry them through tough times. The upcoming game in London will be a big test, not just for the players, but for the entire organization to show they're ready to fight for every inch on the field. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into what's happening with the Cleveland Browns right now, remember that the season is far from over. there's still a lot of football to be played, and the story is still being written. Fans, keep the faith, keep the passion alive, and stay tuned because I'll be right here, bringing you all the latest updates, insights, and analysis. Cleveland Browns fans, this is your team, and together we're going to get through this. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next update. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.